And welcome to our poster. We researched ways in which female and male vegans are perceived with regard to sexual orientation, gender roles, and political stereotypes. This research is based on the shared stereotypes paradigm, in which stereotypes of the observed group, in this case vegans, draw cognitive associations with other groups stereotyped in the same way. We focused on how stereotypes of vegans as effeminate, unmanly, and liberal or leftist might cause them to be judged as more likely to be gay. This is actually the third study of our current project. In the first two studies, we focused on perceptions of vegan men with regard to femininity. Using stimuli similar to those that you can see here, we found evidence that vegan male targets were perceived as more attracted to men and more likely to identify as gay than meat-eating male targets by both vegans and meat-eaters, and that this effect was mediated by perceptions of vegans as more feminine and sometimes less masculine than meat-eaters. In this study, we tested how these effects might be generalized to women who are already stereotyped as feminine. We also incorporated another shared stereotype of vegans and sexual minorities, that of being politically liberal and non-traditional. We hypothesized that participants would rate vegan men as more likely to identify as gay and to be attracted to men than meat-eating men, but that this would not carry over to vegan women. We predicted that these outcomes would be mediated by vegans being perceived as more feminine and less conservative than meat-eaters. In order to meet our sample goal of at least 500 participants, we recruited a mixture of undergraduate students and participants from Prolific for an online study using Qualtrics. The participants from both samples did not significantly differ from one another on our main variables, so we combined them into a sample of 512 participants. Participants were randomly assigned to view fake Instagram posts belonging to a vegan woman, vegan man, meat-eating woman, or meat-eating man. In either case, they viewed 2 posts unrelated to food and 2 posts related to food like the ones you see here. Participants assessed the target on 5 variables on a 1 to 5 scale. They rated how likely the target was to identify as gay, lesbian, or straight, how likely they were to be attracted to men, and how likely they were to be attracted to women. They also assessed the target's femininity and masculinity. They also assessed the target's political orientation using 2 items on a 1 to 7 scale. We analyzed the results using moderated mediation analysis with target gender as a moderator along the mediator to outcome path. Target diet was significantly related to femininity and conservatism. Femininity significantly predicted higher identification as gay for male targets, lower identification as lesbian for female targets, higher attraction to men, and lower attraction to women. Conservatism significantly predicted lower identification as gay or lesbian for all targets, higher attraction to men for female targets, and higher attraction to women for male targets. Our key takeaways were that femininity predicted attraction to men, while conservatism predicted heterosexuality. The interaction of these effects resulted in a target's vegan diet not having a significant effect on perceived sexual attraction, although there was an effect on perceived sexual identity. This highlights the difference between stereotypes of sexual orientation and attraction. We do have several remaining questions. First of all, we used very binary categories in this research, meaning that we do not have a clear understanding of how other social categories are affected by a vegan diet. Further research should assess bisexual identity and judgments of non-binary vegans. It's also unclear how this model generalizes to more normative dietary identities, such as vegetarians and pescatarians, other dietary groups such as gluten-free or non-dairy, or non-dietary identities such as religious groups. This concludes my poster presentation. Enjoy the conference!